100 grand a year, you'll receive free tuition and fees at the University of Texas system. A committee of the UT Board of Regents gave preliminary approval to expand the Promise Plus program. The expansion is the latest move by the Regents to make college more affordable. David Dillard with Katy College Prep says you still have to meet academic standards, and the UT system isn't the only school that does this.
Schools like University of Michigan, Rice, Johns Hopkins that have put these types of endowments in place. UT is just earmarking a portion of their permanent fund for this purpose specifically and leaving it alone.
If approved, the program will start up next fall. It is 8:07, news at the top and bottom of every hour, along with breaking news as it happens. I'm Charity McCurdy, traffic and weather coming up.
San Antonio's first news. We are moments away from connecting with Congressman Tony Gonzalez. We'll talk about the border and mass deportations. First, let's get you caught up on traffic and weather together.
Sunny skies today, highs in the low 70s. It's 40 degrees here at the Radio Ranch. WOAI News Time, 8:10.
San Antonio's first news. That's Mr. T, Tim Merriman. She's Charity McCurdy. I'm Chris Duell. On the line with us now, Congressman from the 23rd Congressional District, Navy veteran Congressman Tony Gonzalez. Congressman, we saw you on Fox News Channel earlier this morning. You were outstanding as always. You were talking about the border and mass deportations. How prepared is the 23rd District and Texas for the changes that will come when Donald Trump takes office on January 20th with respect to the border?
Hey, good morning, Chris. Thanks for having me back on. We're ready. We're ready to go. We're tired of our lives being turned upside down. We'd love to get back to things being a little bit more quiet out there. As you know, the numbers have picked up, certainly in Eagle Pass, and throughout. And I suspect that'll happen up until the new administration. I reached out to ICE over a few months ago, and I got empirical data back from them that said there's over 600,000 convicted criminals in our country. That's where our focus needs to be. We've seen it in San Antonio. We've seen it throughout Texas. These hardened criminals that have caused damage. I met with Vivian Rodriguez, an SAPD officer that was shot in the line of duty. These things aren't what ifs; they're already happening. So it's time for a change.
Congressman Gonzalez, how do you see these violent criminal illegal immigrants being rounded up? Are we talking workplace raids? What do you envision?
A lot of it we already know. And you know what? This is the problem. Part of it is the transparency in this administration. There has to be more transparency. So of those 600,000, some are already in custody. And so we already know some, but they haven't told us how many of those are in custody. I'll give you an example there in San Antonio. I'm working with the Bexar County Sheriff's Department to go, all right, how many are in our jails and how do we get them out of our jails? And then how do we get them deported to other places? And then the other part is just going to take good old-fashioned kind of police work. And this is where you need everybody rowing in the same direction. You need local police, you need state, you need federal, all coming together and going, how do we round up this convicted murderer that's loose in our communities? It's a lot of coordination. It's a lot of manpower, resources. So it's less of the politics, and it's more of like turning loose these law enforcement officers to go out and do what they're good at doing, which is hunting down bad guys.
And Tony, how do we see this land that the Texas official is offering to President-elect Donald Trump to use for this mass deportation effort? How will it be used? Do we know?
We don't know just yet. I think a lot of the details are still kind of, going to take a while to get ironed out. But it is encouraging to see people willing to lend a hand. And that's the way it should be. It shouldn't be this whole federal government fighting the states and the states are fighting the cities. I mean, it should be we're all going, how do we make sure all of us are safe? That's why I've focused so hard on convicted criminal aliens. I think good luck defending that population, right? You can have conversations on other folks and other things, but I'm talking a person that's been convicted in the court of law to the tune of hundreds of thousands. That's where we need to kind of unite as a country, go after these people, make sure our communities are safe, and then kind of take things from there.
Congressman Gonzalez, we spoke earlier this morning with a reporter in Los Angeles, and LA is declaring itself as a sanctuary city. They don't even want the LAPD assisting in deporting any of its criminals. Is there any concern that a city in Texas like San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, Austin might do something like this? Any concerns there?
Absolutely. And that's why if you notice, I haven't been waiting. I've been ahead of this. And so I sit on the Appropriations Committee. That's the power of the purse, the most powerful committee in Congress. And in this year's appropriations bill, I got it written in and it's already passed out of the House, where state, local, and federal law enforcement are mandated to speak with one another when they're talking about criminal aliens. So this is what we got to do. We got to get the politics out of it. Who cares who the mayor is? Who cares who's running the city? Everyone deserves to be safe. A lot of people talk about public safety. We got to make sure it happens. The only way that happens is if there's collaboration at all three levels. Once again, I'm not talking going door to door and, I'm talking going door to door, taking out convicted criminals. That's the level of detail that we need to have. But in my eyes, it needs to be mandated by law, which it's already passed the House. We get it passed out of the Senate into law, which there's a good chance of that. Now we're talking.
Congressman Tony Gonzalez of the 23rd Congressional District, we appreciate your great work, sir, and we look forward to having you back soon.
All right. Appreciate you. Have a good one.
Thanks so much, Congressman. More coming up. Mike Opelka from the Pure Opelka podcast next. WOAI News Time 8:16. Mike Opelka from the Pure Opelka podcast coming right up. His takes on the morning's big stories. And Charity is following those morning big stories. Charity, what are you doing?
VP-elect J.D. Vance will be back on Capitol Hill today to meet with senators about Trump's cabinet nominees. More floating buoy barriers are in the Rio Grande, and Texas has won federal approval for a multi-billion-dollar internet expansion plan. We'll have details now, traffic and weather.
Sunny skies today, tomorrow, and Saturday. Low 70s today, low to mid 70s tomorrow, low 80s on Saturday. 45 degrees in Alamo Heights, 45 in Leon Valley, and 44 here at the Radio Ranch. WOAI News Time, 8:21.
San Antonio's first news. It is time to connect with Mike Opelka from the Pure Opelka podcast. He's brought to us by Randy Adams Incorporated. Mike, let's start with Vice Presidential, soon-to-be Vice President-elect J.D. Vance escorting Matt Gaetz around to see multiple senators on Capitol Hill. Do you think they're making progress?
I think they made some progress, Chris. The move is typical. You know, you usually have a representative of the president taking his nominations around. And since Vance has Senate credentials, he's got street cred with some of the people. But there's still going to be pushback on this. Josh Hawley is supporting Vance, but supporting Gaetz, but he's also saying, let's have the hearing. Let's have the confirmation process. Don't do a recess appointment. So I think we're headed that way.
Mike, want to get your reaction to the murder conviction of the illegal immigrant in the Lake and Riley case. Many people are asking, why didn't he get the death penalty?
Well, that's the decision of the prosecutors to put it up and make that happen. I'm like many people, I'm bristling at the fact we're going to pay for this guy to live for God knows how many decades because he's a young man in our prison system. And it just doesn't seem fair to Lake and Riley's memory, to her family or any of it. But here we are. I'm more upset that the network news people are trying to blame Trump for this, which is really weird. But ABC News managed to do that yesterday.
And how'd they do that? I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. They said, well, had Trump not said, kill the alleged bipartisan border bill, this wouldn't have happened. I'm like, really? Seriously, dude? That's some serious TDS, if you will.
We talked, Mike, about the crew from Morning Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski going down to Mar-a-Lago to meet with Donald Trump. It's got a lot of people at MSNBC and a lot of liberals up in arms. Apparently, Bill O'Reilly has a prediction about what's next.
Yeah, and O'Reilly's not too far from reality on this one. It looks like Comcast, which owns NBC and MSNBC, is looking to spin them off. And there's been a precipitous drop in ratings, especially on the cable news channels that lean farther left. And that means money. And you can't have revenue drop like that, especially in publicly traded companies. So you might be able to pick up a cheap cable network if you want. O'Reilly speculates that George Soros might be in the market for ownership of a cable network. He's bought radio stations. Could it be that far-fetched? I don't know.
And Mike, what the heck is going on with Jay Leno? It seems like he's always getting injured.
This was the weirdest thing because, you know, I'm watching Jay Leno, who has a net worth around $480 million. The guy is like a half a billionaire. He's got a warehouse full of cars, and he's staying in a Hampton Inn. No, I'm not smearing Hampton Inn. They have great waffles at the Hampton Inn, and they're free if you stay there. I've stayed at many a Hampton Inn. But Jay Leno in a Hampton Inn, and the guy who's got a warehouse full of cars doesn't have a car that he can drive down to the restaurant. I'm just wondering if there's more to the story than we know.
All right, so you're bringing up food. Are you excited that the McRib is coming back December 3rd? Do you have it circled on your calendar?
It is circled in red, the same color as the McRib sauce, which, by the way,
Yeah, you can get it by the gallon now, right?
well, it's a half a gallon. It's $20 a half a gallon.
American?
Yeah. So now I gotta make decision. Do I buy the wine or do I get a half a gallon of McRib sauce?
Go with the wine.
Okay.
So,
Probably will.
Mike, apparently Ellen DeGeneres has moved out of America and moved to England. Was this due to the election result? What's going on here?
I think it's because she wants to be the new spokesperson for the woke Jaguar. It could be the thing. No, Ellen's kind of fallen off the face of the earth anyway since she retired her show after the world learned that she wasn't the queen of nice. And so she's disappeared, and she and her other half, Portia de Rossi, have set up camp out in the hinterlands of Great Britain, and they'll be no more bothering us. Like, why not? Good riddance.
You can get a lot more Mike Opelka from the Pure Opelka podcast. Get it wherever you get your podcasts. We recommend the free iHeartRadio app. Another episode will drop today. You don't want to miss it. Mike is brought to us by Randy Adams Incorporated. Coming up with the craze of the Trump dance. And by the way, we danced it this morning. You can see the video on Instagram, on Facebook, or on X at 1200 WOAI. You don't want to miss Charity doing the Trump dance.
No.
But we're asking you on the Talkback feature, what's your favorite dance? What's your least favorite dance? And where will the Trump dance rank among all-time dances? That's coming up after Charity has all the big stories for you at the bottom of the hour. WOAI News Time 827.
8:30 is our time. San Antonio's first news. Good Thursday morning. I'm Charity McCurdy. Among our top stories, a House committee remains deadlocked on releasing its ethics report on Matt Gaetz, and more questions about Trump's plan for mass deportations. First, traffic and weather together every 10 minutes in mornings. Your Thursday weather forecast: sunshine, a high near 73. Tonight's low 45. Right now, 45 degrees. President-elect Trump's attorney general pick, former Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz, continues meeting with senators ahead of his confirmation hearing. Gaetz has been shrouded in controversy amid an investigation into alleged sexual misconduct and illicit drug use. Here's more from Fox's Chad Pergram.
J.D. Vance's first big assignment, helping controversial nominees like Matt Gaetz navigate the Senate. Gaetz met with senators at the Capitol. Lindsey Graham met with Gaetz, but Graham did not speak with reporters about the chat. In a statement, Graham urged colleagues to, quote, not join the lynch mob. He says the FBI never charged Gaetz during its investigation involving allegations of sex trafficking. Tom Tillis of North Carolina said he had a meeting with Gaetz. Tillis is okay with low-level recess appointments, but not big jobs.
Republicans on the House Ethics Panel last night voted to make their findings public, but will reconvene on December 5th to further deliberate. Former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley is slamming two of President-elect Trump's cabinet picks. Haley criticized former Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard and called her a Chinese sympathizer who hasn't denounced any of her views. She was also critical of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and called him a liberal Democrat who has no background in health care. The Senate is holding an annual hearing looking at worldwide threats. Here's more from Fox's Ryan Schmelz.
Top leadership from Homeland Security and the FBI will be on Capitol Hill to discuss the latest threats facing the country. Homeland's Alejandro Mayorkas and the FBI's Christopher Wray are expected to discuss the southern border and China, as well as North Korea. The hearing comes as President-elect Trump is selecting his national security officials for the administration. Picks include South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem as the head of Homeland Security and former Director of National Intelligence John Radcliffe as the next leader of the CIA. On Capitol Hill, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
Well, Texas is offering the incoming Trump administration the use of a ranch as a staging area for the roundup of illegal immigrants, but Congressman Henry Cuellar does not think it will be needed.
First of all, I don't think we're going to get to mass deportation. Let's focus first on what affects our communities, and that is the criminals.
He says we have plenty of bed space available, and if more are needed, he says that federal contractors can ramp up their facilities. The ranch, which is being offered as a staging area for deportations, is in Cuellar's district. He's meeting with the incoming border czar and is confident that any raids under the Trump administration will be targeted. Well, City Council today gets its first look at a proposed new downtown sports and entertainment district. City staff has been working on the multi-billion-dollar Project Marvel behind closed doors for over a year. The proposed district reportedly includes an expansion of the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center, improvements to the Alamo Dome, a convention center hotel, a new event venue, and possibly a new arena for the Spurs. Well, a San Antonio homeless woman is charged with abandoning her newborn baby, while some activists are questioning why the city is dragging its feet on installing baby boxes at fire stations. Eric Lycum has details.
A newborn baby with umbilical cord still attached was found near the Salado Creek Greenway 2 nights ago. 37-year-old Julie Alexander was charged with child abandonment, and the baby is in Child Protective Services care now. An investigation is underway, but some activists want answers as to why the city has not set up so-called baby boxes at all 54 of the city's fire stations. Last year, City Council approved over $438,000 for the department to acquire them, but not one has been installed yet. SAFD says they're still considering and researching them. Each box costs reported $11,000. They're being considered in Austin and Houston as well. Eric Lycom, News Radio 1200 WOAI.
If you're from a family making less than $100,000 a year, you'll receive free tuition and fees at the University of Texas System. A committee of the UT Board of Regents gave preliminary approval to expand the Promise Plus program. It'll apply to eligible students at all 9 universities. The expansion is the latest move by the Regents to make college more affordable. David Dillard with Katy College Prep says you still have to meet the academic standards.
It doesn't cover living expenses. It doesn't cover room and board. And you know, not all students are going to live on a budget when they get to college. So it's a challenge still for a lot of people.
If approved, the program will start up next fall. Christmas shopping's already started, and so have the scams. Jason Meza with the Better Business Bureau of South Texas says the bad guys have flooded social media with deals on knockoffs that come from China.
The number one scam still going to be the online shopping scam. People are getting duped into counterfeit products.
Their scam tracker shows that losses are $1 million more than last year. Meza says if a deal looks too good to be true, it probably is. It is 8:37. Traffic and weather together in a minute. But first, a check of your money in the world of business. Courtney Donahoe is live at the Bloomberg News Desk. All right, thanks, Courtney. News at the top and bottom of every hour, along with breaking news as it happens. I'm Charity McCurdy. Here's traffic and weather.
San Antonio's first news. Charity McCurdy, Mr. T, Tim Merriman. I'm Chris Duell. Our thanks to Charlie Parker. He was in studio less than an hour ago. Andrew Zimmel and EJ Pacheco doing the heavy lifting, making the show go technically. Well, first there was the Bossa Nova. Then there was the electric slide. Now it's the Trump dance. And we have all done the Trump dance. In fact, this morning, there's video evidence out there on 1200 WOAI's Instagram, X, and Facebook accounts if you would like to see Charity McCurdy doing the Trump dance along with two guys. I guess it was Charity McCurdy and the Pips. There were two Pips dancing. And I'm insulting the Pips because the Pips can actually dance.
I guess it was a Trump dance or a variation of it. We tried. I didn't.
Oh, you nailed it.
Yeah,
you kidding me?
Yeah.
Okay.
You
All right.
The rave reviews are coming in, Charity.
I think I moved my hips too much. I think I was supposed to be more stationary from the waist below. So,
but when the YMCA is blaring in the background, it's kind of hard to keep those hips, from not moving.
It takes over. Yeah.
You got to make it your own. You got to make the Trump dance your own. So we asked people on the Talkback feature on the free iHeartRadio app earlier this morning, and we're still getting responses. What is your favorite dance of all time? Or you can say what's your least favorite dance of all time, and you can tell us where you think the Trump dance will rank among all-time dances. Mr. T, what do we have?
We got a few. Here's one.
This is Josh from Canyon Lake. I absolutely hate the chicken dance, not just because of the chicken dance itself, but because when I was about 4 years old, my grandmother dragged me up on a stage at Fiesta, Texas, and made me do the chicken dance in front of everybody. And I remember crying my eyes out. I hated it. I was so embarrassed even at that age. And I think because of that, I don't like dancing in front of people to this day.
Wow.
My goodness, childhood trauma.
Yeah, his grandmother traumatized him to the chicken dance.
My goodness. Wow. See, the Trump dance would never traumatize a child, I don't think.
No.
I don't think so.
It's not as silly looking as a chicken dance.
Exactly.
All right, here's another one.
Well, good morning, guys. It's your Pennsylvania truck driver, DJ. I have to start off by saying that, my wife has a still photograph of me doing a dance. I don't even know what I was doing at my niece's wedding. She calls it a walker dance. Kind of looks like I'm holding on to an imaginary walker doing an old man's walker. But to me, my favorite dance is any dance that you don't have to look good in. There would be the Cotton Eye Joe or the chicken dance or even the hokey pokey.
Okay.
The hokey pokey.
The hokey pokey.
You turn yourself around.
That's what it's all about, Chris.
It is what it's all about.
It is what it's all about. All right, here's one more.
Hey, Chris and Tim. Charity McCurdy on Dances with the Stars. Is there any chance that we can make that happen?
Yes.
I think she's a natural. Y'all have a good day.
See, Charity, I told you, rave reviews that you were taking the city and South Texas by storm. Everybody's at work right now, showing other coworkers Charity McCurdy doing the Trump dance on their smartphone. It's a craze.
Who knew? All I had to do was move my forearms. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, they're moving past us to get to her. Yes,
I'm hoping that President-elect Trump sees Charity's Trump dance, invites her to an inaugural ball, and does the Trump dance with her.
Oh, that would be awesome.
In an evening gown, Charity. I think it could be a very, very special moment for both of you.
I've always wanted to go to the White House.
This could be it.
If this is my way in, I guess I'll take it.
The spotlight right on her. She's doing the Trump dance with Trump.
Oh. We should have asked Congressman Tony Gonzalez, can you get Charity's video of the Trump dance to the president?
Next time.
Yeah,
we'll hold on to it. Next time, we'll try to get it done.
Charity, I'm thinking big. I see big things happening.
All right,
from your Trump dance.
Calm down now.
I'm just saying.
No, I mean, hey,
I'm just saying.
Seriously, this could be a start of a long, long career.
Oh, no, thank you. No, thank you. Okay,
yes.
All right.
You could be an instructor. Show people how
Trump
to do
dance
the Trump dance correctly.
You guys are selling this way too hard. I mean, this is
you just heard the last message. People love it.
The reviews are in.
People love it. Yeah, we were just happy to be your pips.
Yes,
we were,
or pip-like.
Pip-ish.
Yeah, pip-ish. There we go. Pip-ish.
Yeah, no, but your rendition, Chris, was unforgettable. The Trump dance. So.
I've been studying the Trump dance longer. I was aware of the Trump dance, and I was studying it longer than before it became a craze.
Okay.
Because on Real Time with Bill Maher, he's been talking about it for months and showing it on his show. So I would look at it and I try to, work it out, work out the move.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say moves plural. It's kind of one move.
Yeah, pretty
sort
much.
Of. Yeah. So you're right. All right. So if you want to see Mr. T and my version, nowhere near as good as Charity's version, but Go to 1200 WOAI's Instagram, X, or Facebook page.
There you go.
Check it out. Lots more coming up. We'll get you caught up on headlines, traffic, weather, and more coming right at you. WOAI News Time, 846. San Antonio's first news, our big company potluck is coming up in a couple of hours here. Wonder if Charity will do the Trump dance at the potluck. It could be
kind of has to, Chris.
Could be. I think everybody's going to want to see it. But first, Charity, what stories are you following?
House Republicans have decided not to release an ethics report on sexual allegations lodged against former Congressman Matt Gaetz. More giant buoy barriers are going in the Rio Grande, and the UT system expands its free tuition program. More coming up right now, traffic and weather.
Sunny skies today, tomorrow, and on Saturday. Highs today in the low 70s. Overnight lows today and tomorrow in the mid 40s. Tomorrow's high in the low to mid 70s. And then on Saturday, sunshine, highs in the low 80s. 45 degrees at Randolph Air Force Base, 45 in Monte Vista, and 45 right here in Stone Oak. WOAI News Time, 8:52.
San Antonio's first news. She's Charity McCurdy. That's Mr. T, Tim Merriman. Our thanks to Charlie Parker, who not only brought us Those Were the Days, but he was in studio a little earlier with not only Parker's picks for the weekend. We'll get those up, by the way, at WOAI.com, and his thoughts on dance and some of his favorite and least favorite dances. A story that I'm sure we're going to be covering tomorrow, Charity and Mr. T. The International Criminal Court has issued an arrest warrant for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And they're also have an arrest warrant for the former defense minister of Israel, accusing them of war crimes in Gaza. The court says it has reasonable grounds to believe Netanyahu bears criminal responsibility for war crimes, including starvation as a method of warfare and the crimes against humanity of murder, persecution, and other inhumane acts. Of course, it remains to be seen, and certainly in a situation like this, Charity, how much influence the International Criminal Court does indeed have. This is something we'll certainly pay attention to and analyze tomorrow.
Yeah, and of course, this is probably welcomed by Hamas, and it's being met with outrage in Israel. They're calling it essentially shameful and absolutely absurd. We'll see what happens from here.
Yeah, it is kind of absurd. And where are the arrest warrants for Hamas?
Great question. Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
Yeah, how did this all begin?
Yeah. They
on
came
October
over.
7th.
Yes, remember that? We all saw what happened.
Exactly. Yeah, where I want to know what the International Criminal Court did to denounce the horrific attack launched by Hamas. Great point, Mr. T. So we'll be all over that story, among others, tomorrow. Before tomorrow, Charity, though, we have a little business to take care of here at the radio station at high noon. It is time for the iHeartRadio WOAI, led by the sales team, by the way, potluck. So I went, I got to credit my wife. Who
you did nothing, Chris.
I did nothing, exactly. She was listening to you guys yesterday. She was listening to you guys yesterday.
Good for her.
Did you get something for the potluck, Chris? I said, oh, I forgot. She goes, well, Tim and Charity were talking about it on the radio. So she went, I want to be clear here because I don't want to offend anybody. She went to Central Market, not HEB, Central Market, because it's more, Gucci.
Yeah, Gucci.
Elite.
And she can get in. I can't. Every time I go get stopped by the doorman there, hey, you're not on the list, buddy. You cannot get in here.
Now, if you drop Charity McCurdy's name to the doorman at Central Market, you might get in. But anyway, so I'm bringing Charity, I've got, courtesy of my wife, pumpkin spice cookies. Now you have this incredible.
Yeah, we don't know what it's called.
Yeah, we just call it crack.
We call it sweet crack.
Sweet crack. Can you describe what your food item is for the potluck today?
Sure. It's saltine cracker toffee, and it's saltine crackers topped with melted butter, brown sugar, some vanilla extract, and you put that in the oven for a while and put some chocolate chips on top, let it melt, and spread it all over. Sprinkle it with some toffee bits, pecan bits if you choose. I opted not to go the nut route, fearing
Probably a good
someone might
idea.
have a nut allergy in the building. So, yeah, I got the recipe from my mom, and it's highly addictive.
It
People
is
always ask
so-
me for the recipe.
Look,
So,
I've got one little piece left.
oh, okay.
What is it called again? Saltine what?
It's saltine cracker toffee
See,
or
we got to come up with a
saltine
better.
toffee.
We got to come up with a better name. I mean, that just doesn't do it justice.
Yeah.
Because it is so good.
Yeah.
It's so damn good.
Charity's crack delight. I mean, it's addictive. That's why I say crack. But I'm not advocating. I'm not advocating.
not
the
at all.
use, but
And if you ever try this once, you're going to want to try it every time she brings it in. I remember this from years ago, and I just wait every year. Is she going to bring it in? Is
Yeah.
it going to show up? And it shows up, and I'm like, thank God.
well, and I didn't realize till you just said it, Charity. The recipe comes from your mom.
Yes.
So we owe a debt of gratitude to your mom
Yes.
for teaching you how to make this.
It's amazing. And it's so easy to make too. That's what I love about it. So
Easy is always good.
yeah, I had to resist not taking a bite myself. I saved a bag at home
Oh,
for
good
my
for you.
daughter because
Yes.
she wanted some immediately right before bedtime. And I was
Oh, I
like,
bet,
no,
yeah.
we're not going the sugar route right before bed. We're not going to do it.
See, I'm saving this last piece for when I get home with a nice tall glass of milk. And then good night.
Well, there's more in a fridge. It's wrapped in saran wrap on a plate.
Wait,
So
there was more in the fridge, is what you're saying?
yes. So if you
that's-
want more to take home to your lovely wives,
It's
feel
going to
free.
disappear very quickly, I imagine.
Andrew,
So-
go get that plate out of the refrigerator, please.
All right. Well, Glenn Beck is coming up in just a few moments. Before that, Charity has all the big stories that you need to know about on this Thursday morning at the top of the hour. We will see you tomorrow morning bright and early at 5 o'clock. Right now, WOAI News Time, 8:57.
All right. See you guys later. See you tomorrow. Have a great one.
Adios.